Guess what? I am a Viking too. I found out by doing family history. The History Channel series The Vikings made famous a Viking known as Ragnar Lothbrok. He sailed 120 ships up the Seine with 5,000 Vikings and sacked a terrified Paris in 845. Those guys really knew how to plunder and pillage. Though I have Viking heritage, Ragnar Lothbrok is not actually on my family tree. You see him here because I think he's cool. Family history does, however, help us discover the real stories of our lives. Most of us would say there's nobody interesting in my family. Not true. You just haven't looked yet. I guarantee you'll find a few fascinating characters, but you do have to look for them. I discovered an ancestor, John Billington, who came to America on the Mayflower. A little more digging revealed that he was quite a scoundrel. He was a troublemaker in England before they departed. He was a troublemaker on board the Mayflower as well as in the fledgling American Plymouth colony. In fact, my 9th great-grandfather, was the first Englishman in the New World to be charged, tried, convicted, and hanged for murder. What a guy. I knew none of these stories until I started to dig. For example, I knew next to nothing about my paternal grandfather, John Martin Madson. By discovering and interviewing one of his long-lost buddies, I learned that in 1920, my grandfather became a rum runner, smuggling booze from Canada into Minnesota during the American Prohibition. Further, in 1921, he walked out on my grandmother and father and went to Al Capone's Chicago to ply his trade. He was a bootlegger in a town of bootleggers. Wow. My other grandfather, Whitney Morris, was an accomplished musician, seen here with my grandma at Dakota Wesleyan University before they were married. I discovered that my grandfather, this grandfather, was a bank embezzler. Twice. Both times my grandma kept him out of jail. But that's another story. Some stories are heroic. My 5th great-grandfather, James Smith, a British soldier, fought in the Battle of Bunker Hill, 1775. He was wounded and taken prisoner by American patriots. By the end of the American Revolutionary War, he had been converted and was fighting as an American. Some discoveries are both heroic and sad, as in the case of the C family. My 5th great-grandfather, Michael C., in 1763, watched in terror as his father, Frederick C., and his family were killed and scalped by Indians. Michael, his brother, and mother, however, were taken captive and held by the Indians until their escape a year later. Sometimes history and the present day meet. My wife is an actress who taught at Stanford for 30 years. She also acted in Shakespearean plays. And she is a direct descendant of King Edward III of England. In this photo, my wife on the left is playing the Duchess of Gloucester, standing next to the Duchess of York, who was actually her real-life 16th great-grandmother. So how do you get into family history? Well, after my father's death, I found a photo of my great-grandfather and his family. Researching this photo, I learned that the cute little cherub down in front was my grandma. They are posed here on the grass in front of their North Dakota homestead. You can find your place in real history. You rose from the ground of your ancestors, their dust in your bones. Without accomplishing another thing, you are the complete fulfillment of all those who came before you. You can find your truth. You can discover these stories of your life. Start anywhere. Talk to your parents, other living relatives. Take an introductory class on genealogy from the California Genealogical Society. Use the library. Use online software to research your family. It's easy. It's fun. Start now to uncover the stories of your life. Family history matters.